After months of planning, the day had finally arrived. Today I would be starting my 800-mile thru-hike of the Arizona Trail. From Tucson, it was a 90-mile drive to the Mexican border where the trail started. The trail angel who was driving me pointed out Miller Peak, where I had planned to spend my first night. There is no vehicle access to the trail start, so there are two access points you must hike in from. Montezuma Pass is 1.7 miles away, and the Coronado National Memorial is 3.3 miles from the start. Although I had hoped to start from the shorter of the two, I would of course be starting from the further. The Coronado National Memorial marks where in 1540 Spaniard Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, leader of an expedition to find the fabled 7 golden cities of Cibola, would become the first Europeans to enter what is now the American Southwest. Although starting a couple hours later than planned, I felt confident as I made some final adjustments to my pack and then set out. It did not take long for the trail to tip sharply upwards as it led into Joe's Canyon. I had to go up for 2.4 miles in order to intersect the Arizona Trail. Up would be the theme for this first day, and it would be a theme which would kick my butt. To the west across a stretch of desert, another mountain, islands in the sky as they are known in this region, stretched out. As very little has changed in this barren landscape, it is easy to visualize the dust clouds kicked up from the long line of the Coronado expedition as it passed through here 480 years ago. Although I was not on a journey to discover gold, this hike was my own personal conquest. From here, the trail dips sharply down as it heads to the mile zero of the AZT. A simple obelisk lies behind strands of barbed wire, which mark the start of an 800-mile trail that wanders its way north to the Utah border. A jagged sign on a fence post identifies the beginning of this journey and is a visual reminder of the ruggedness of this national scenic trail. The silver obelisk is boundary marker 102. It is one of 276 boundary markers erected in 1848 to identify the new border between Mexico and the United States. The border was agreed upon and entrenched in the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo following the Mexican-American War. It is ironic that these simple markers were sufficient following that war, but today giant walls are being built along the border between these two countries, long at peace with each other. After the mandatory mile zero selfie, it was time to turn around and officially begin my AZT adventure. What now lay ahead was a steep 6.4 mile, 3,200 foot ascent to Miller Peak. Up, up, and more up. Montezuma Pass, the closer preferred access point, was a welcome rest stop for this already tired hiker. Its pavilion was also the only real shade I would find this day to escape the hot desert sun and warm gusty winds. I signed my first trail log, which the Arizona Trail Association used to provide statistics as to how many hikers are using the trail and how long they have been on trail. Again, I look up at Miller Peak. It seemed no closer now than it did from back at the memorial. It did not take long to determine that due to my late start and the ruggedness of the trail, I would be well short of reaching the 9.8 miles I had originally planned to accomplish that day. The saying, "the trail dictates the pace," was becoming very real. As the disappointment of underestimating my first day on trail began to set in, and the focus needed to keep putting one foot in front of the other, there was little energy to even think of taking pictures as the trail climbed towards the peak. The ruggedness of this rocky trail means that there is not always enough flat ground on which to pitch a tent. As the sun began to set, and knowing that my planned campsite was well out of reach, I was elated to find a clearing of sufficient size at the southern boundary of the Miller Peak Wilderness. Despite how tired I was, the incredible, picturesque view from my mountainside lodging was enough to infuse sufficient energy for me to enjoy my accomplishments on this first day on the Arizona Trail. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button below and also click to share it. I learned a great deal about through hiking by watching videos shared by other hiking adventurers as well as the comments left on their channels. Each Monday I will be posting a new video on YouTube showing my next steps along the Arizona Trail. So click the bell below to be notified when it is posted. You can also follow the Ambler Odysseys with Bill England on my website www.theamblerodysseys.info, as well as on my other social media channels.